Hey everybody, Sean here with Trailhouse. I'm here again with Chad Strand at Snowind, and today we're going to be going over the importance of getting your skis tuned. Chad, I was noticing the last time I skied that on, not the flat spots, but when the slope was definitely more like 5-10 degrees, I definitely was feeling like that ski was all of a sudden starting to stick, like I was hitting on the brakes unintentionally, right? Now I'm assuming that's a telltale sign that something's slowing me down, and most of the time it has to do with the base of the skis, right?
Correct. A lot of times it can come down to more than just wax. A lot of people think, oh, I just have to wax my skis, that's all that's going on. But if you haven't actually had your skis flattened and stone ground and put some structure into them, you can run into the same problem. Over time, your skins, different snow conditions, rocks, everything gets in there, and it's gonna screw up your base. And that's gonna keep the water from flowing and stick and create other problems as well, turning, edging, etc.
Sure. Now I've had these skis for about 4 years. They've been tuned a few times. Do I need to get my skis tuned when I get them brand new?
Yeah, we highly recommend anytime you get skis brand new, you don't need to necessarily stone grind them or get it done, but have your edges checked, your bevels checked, and then waxed. Believe it or not, coming out of the factory, things can be just a little bit off. They're crushing through thousands of skis. Yeah. And every once in a while something can be off. It's real easy and quick. We get them waxed and you're good to go.
Sure. One of the biggest things that I'm a big fan of is detuning the tip and the tails of my skis.
Huge.
Do you recommend that for most people?
90% of people.
Yeah.
You're going to want to detune those tips and tails.
Now, why wouldn't you want to detune the tips and the tails on a new ski?
If you're a racer, a lot of guys prefer to keep those edges all the way to the tip and tail. It's going to help you stay all the way through the edge, but even those guys sometimes will take a little notch down. It's much smaller. A ski like this, you're going to come down quite a bit farther with rocker. What happens if you don't, you end up catching those edges much easier. If people will hook or feel that, all it takes is an extra sharp edge right there, and you're fighting it all day.
Yeah, you're unintentionally, your skis are going to wander a little bit more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of that. And obviously waxing skis, I know new skis come with a light wax on them, but it's more just a storage until they are sold, right? Correct,
and those skis could have been sitting in a warehouse going through all sorts of different temperature changes and for who knows how long. And they don't always, the wax they put on is very thin. That's gonna, like you said, basically storage.
Got it. Yep. So other than me noticing I'm slowing down on the slopes, what are other telltale signs that I need to get my skis tuned?
Besides just looking at them and telling that they're not super smooth, flat, you'll start to notice by, like you said, the jerking motion. You'll have more problems edge to edge. You may have some skis that are wandering on you, moving around a lot or hooking.
Yeah.
You can, all the above. Over time, different types of snow, especially icy snow or hard, different conditions will actually really wear that base out.
Sure. Now, can I do the tuning from home? I know I can wax, and I love waxing skis. It's kind of therapeutic for me to do it. But beyond that, and I can even do some of the sharpening and the beveling at home, but beyond that, I'm kind of at a loss.
Yeah, you're correct. And we encourage people to learn to tune and work on their skis at home, because the more upkeep you do on your skis, the better off they're going to be for you, everyone involved, the shop even. If you keep them up, it's going to help us when it is time to come to us. We have the machinery that you need. At some point in time, you need to get those skis, that base back to flat, so you can actually get your bevels right.
Yeah.
And to do that, the only way to do it is with the belt grinder and stone to get the structure back in as well.
Yeah, so. For sure. The other thing I noticed too, when I used to work in a shop, was I didn't really do much of the tuning myself, but I knew it was much harder to keep wider things flat than narrower things flat, right? Like snowboards are some of the hardest things to tune if you're trying to keep that base flat.
Yep.
The wider skis, kind of the same thing, right? As you get narrower skis, it doesn't require quite as much work or as many passes on the belt, right?
Agreed. Snowboards are notoriously almost impossible to get flat in certain situations. But like you said, a super wide powder ski, 120, whatever that, we'll notice, holy smokes, this thing's still not there yet.
Yeah,
but
you still got some little cupping in there and stuff like that. So makes a lot of sense. So other than feeling it, you got to visually inspect your skis. Obviously, you're going to notice some base damage. You know, I've got a couple light little, nicks in the base of my ski too. On these skis, so I visually inspect it. How do I know over time if the edges aren't sharp enough anymore? What's a good way to know that?
You're gonna either be skidding or just totally slipping out. You're gonna have a hard time completing that full turn. Obviously different snow conditions and powder, you're not gonna notice it as much. You're not using that edge, you're still in there, but you're gonna feel it on a harder pack or on groomers even if you're not on a backcountry ski. If you're in the spring conditions, you're gonna notice because you're having trouble holding that edge.
Right, and that ski is just skipping and sliding.
Chattering, skipping, yep.
So it just won't hold that edge anymore.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, great, man. Well, what would you say, obviously on this ski, what we're gonna look to try to do today?
Yeah, just upon first inspection, we're gonna look at it and kind of just do a nice once over. Honestly, these are in great shape for a backcountry ski. I'm super impressed. A lot of times we'll get skis, guys just hammer them and just think that, oh, it's a backcountry ski, I don't need to tune them. Sure enough, once a year, once a season, if you do this, you're gonna increase the life of your ski. So it's good to just get in that routine. But I'm just gonna initially check for any big major gouges. We'll take a true bar to it. So the true bar right here is just making sure we're checking to see, with the light here, if your base is fully flat. You'll see, you can't probably see from the camera there at this angle, but we look here to see if there's any convex going on or where your bevels are sitting. And we start there, and then we'll do one pass through and then do some P-Tex, and we'll move on from there.
Well, awesome. When is the best time of the year to get my skis tuned?
Everybody's a little bit different. Some people really like doing it at the end of the year, which I like to as well, because when you're finished up, you put them away, it's gonna help protect your base. And then when it's time to go, say you get an early season deal, you're already done, you're ready to go. Instead of dealing with the whole crowd, like, oh crap, we just had a big snow, and now I'm bringing it to the shop, and the shop's got 30 pairs of skis to do, you may have to wait a couple days.
Sure.
If you go into season, you're ready to go no matter what. Yeah. So I like that one. Also, beginning of season, good time to go for it as well.
Sure.
So.
How often would you say the average person should get their skis waxed? Because I know the wax doesn't last forever.
Wax really comes down to what you're doing. There are racers, high-end skiers that are literally waxing every day. Some of them every few runs, right. To be totally honest with you. Recreational skiers, I recommend every 3 to 5 times on wax. Again, this really comes down to snow conditions. If you're on powder, you can extend that. If you're on the East Coast, you're gonna wanna be probably every other.
I was gonna say, it's almost every day sometimes because it's really abrasive snow.
Right,
when it's really cold, icy, firm stuff, it's just more abrasive.
Yep, and just like when you fall and it rips up your skin in the spring conditions, it's doing the same thing to the base of your ski.
Right.
So.
Sure. Are all bases created equal?
No. There are a couple different bases, but for the sake of this, we're pretty close.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, let's get into doing some tuning here.
Sounds good. So I just ran them through the belt sander real quick on a very light setting. All that's going to do is kind of take down some of that initial gunk we might have seen on the ski there. Any extra P-Tex that was kind of flopping around or base that was flopping around. So now I'll be able to get to these gouges, look at them, and fill them with that P-Tex a lot easier.
Those people that don't know, what are we doing here?
So this is P-Tex, which is basically what a lot of the bases are made out of, and we are filling the gap. So what we'll do, this is, it looks gummy, sticky. This gun is heating up the P-Tex and feeding through here. And then we're just we're rolling it on, and it will fill in these gouges, and then we'll go in and scrape everything. So that's, again, what we're trying to do is keep your bases flat. So what we're doing now, after the P-Tex gun has come on, it leaves, you know, this nice slather on. So we come through with a sharp metal scraper here, and we're gonna take that excess off. More will come off once we run it through the machine, but we get rid of the really big chunky pieces with this and smooth it out.
So we've done the P-Tex, we've done another base sanding on the ski, right?
Correct. That was to clean that P-Tex off all the way, get it down, and again cleaned up so we get this base totally flat. Now what we're doing is we're going to check the bevel and get the bevel set before we put it on the stone, and we'll check it again after. The bevel is one of the most important things actually with your skiing, where you'll notice one of the biggest differences. So I'm using a file guide here to help me make sure I'm at the correct angle on the edge of the ski there.
Got it. And this is beginning to make my skis a little bit more forgiving, less twitchy.
Correct. We're going to run it through the stone. What the stone is actually doing is cutting the base of the ski and putting structure into the ski. A lot of times you'll see little V's or waves in skis when you get them, and that's from the stone grinder. And what that does is pushes the water away, moves along, so that's what's keeping your ski gliding along on the base.
Okay, so that's why you got the stone plus the sander.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks again so much for watching another episode on Trail House. Please do not forget to check out the ski shop Snowind Sports off Mt Rose Highway here in Reno, Nevada. Hey guys, spring is here and I wanted to take this time to remind you guys that the Great Community Cleanup is next weekend here in Reno, Nevada. I will be at the Hunter Creek Trailhead, volunteering my time from 8 a.m. to noon next Saturday, and we will be cleaning up those trails and getting those ready for the spring and summer time. These trails don't clean themselves, and if you use these trails often, then what better to pay back your thank yous by volunteering just 4 hours of your day to help clean up the trails. You can volunteer at volunteer@ktmb.com. and you will be able to see what locations need volunteers, and some even need team leaders. You don't need to bring anything other than yourself. I definitely recommend bringing some gloves and some sturdy shoes to be able to perform the work at hand. Look forward to seeing you guys out there. Thanks again for watching.